Hello everybody, welcome back to the Arms Society. First of all, a few disclaimers. I have no company affiliations, endorsements, sponsorships, or otherwise, and anything you may see today may or may not be personally owned. I will not confirm such a thing for privacy reasons. Today, we have on the table the Performance Center model of the Smith & Wesson M&P Shield Plus, a brand new gun from Smith & Wesson made to compete with the 6 Hour P365. So first of all, we have this rather luxurious carrying case here. It's not the typical plastic or crappy cardboard box that a lot of these types of pistols come with. We have the Shield Plus Performance Center model, the 13-round extended magazine, a little Smith & Wesson flashlight that has 3 settings, bright, dim, and strobe, and then a little folding knife, which is actually surprisingly sharp. You wouldn't expect these to be all that good, but they're fantastic. First of all, we're going to go ahead and take the pistol out. I'm going to go ahead and check it. Magazine's empty. Chamber's empty. Going to dead the trigger like I do. Click. What makes this gun so special? First of all, if you notice, it has a flat face trigger, which most M&P models don't. As a matter of fact, almost all of them don't. Because, I don't know, M&P wants you to suffer. However, this is probably one of the best triggers I've ever felt in my life. The best M&P trigger by far, and that is me saying that after having used the EZ9, which had a fantastic trigger pull. This is better than the EZ9. It's a very Glock style hinge trigger. Right in there, you can see that little squishy. We'll go ahead and test it out. So come back, there's a wall right there. Pull, nice easy click. It's a very crisp click. Test that reset. Wow, that's incredibly short. Just like my girlfriend. Just like any other M&P model, the magazine release button sticks out a lot. Sticks out like an Audi belly button, honestly. And this little 10-round mag, which is very interesting. It's a nice little concept from back in World War I of all times. I believe it was the original MP18 that had the concept of double stack to single feed. And truth be told, I haven't seen that in a modern weapon ever, because it didn't work originally. It had a modicum of success, but not very much. Well, Smith & Wesson reintroduced it, and introduced it to their shield platform in order to make a higher capacity shield. That's a 10-round magazine. Normal shields only have 8, and this is not even 1/4 of an inch wider. It's almost exactly the same size as the regular shield. They're actually discontinuing the original shield because this makes it obsolete completely. There's no reason to have an original shield now that this is out. Another feature, and this, like every M&P model that I know of, you can get them with or without safeties, manual safeties that is. Difficult to turn on, very easy to turn off. Got a little bit of force. It's kind of an uncomfortable texture, but really in the moment you're not so worried about that. You can get it without the safety anyway, so I don't really consider that a problem. I prefer the safety, just because smaller pistols, I tend to pocket carry them in like a pocket holster. Comes off very easy. It's just not a very pleasant feeling button, but it provides a lot of grip. Speaking of grip, the main grip is that familiar 2.0 texture. Except, if you'll notice something, this is not a 2.0. It's not listed on their website as a 2.0. It's not marked 2.0 anywhere. So this grip is like a cross between the 1.0 and the 2.0. It's aggressive, but it's not like M&P 2.0, you fire it and it skins your hand. Like, some people like that, I like it, but a lot of people who, don't constantly shoot despise it, and I don't blame them. It's very harsh. So this, in an effort to not destroy any skin surfaces that you might have, this is a lot soft, well, not a lot softer, but definitely softer to make a more comfortable fit. Now, we have some of the more obvious things. The things that make this a Performance Center model. Because the frame is the same across both the Performance Center and the regular Shield Plus. Of course, we have the signature Performance Center engraving right there, M&P 9 Shield Plus. That's what it says right up there. Got your classic Smith & Wesson logo since 1852. And then, of course, we have the gorgeous fish scale slide serrations, which again, these are still, aside from the Performance Center logo, these are still things that make it, just an M&P. This is not unique. And then we have the front, cocking serrations, as some people call them. I don't tend to grip it right there when I do a press check. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. My hands are a little soggy right now. I just went shooting. They help somewhat. If you grip it a certain way, they definitely help, but it's definitely not much gripping surface. That's a common complaint, and it's not such a big deal because you can always, you know, do that. Or you can go big brain and look in that little hole. If there is a round in, you can see the rim of the round through that little hole inside of the chamber. Obviously, you know, it says 9mm right there. And the elephant in the room, the two things you've probably been, you know, that make this most unique compared to the other Shield Plus model is the fiber optic sights. So we have red back, green front, makes for a very, very nice sight picture. It glows in the light. It's a joy to use this thing. Indoors especially. I was at an indoor range just earlier today, and the sight picture, I don't know what it is about this thing. It is just so great to shoot. I learned today that I shoot this better than any other gun I have. I haven't had access to this for very long, to be quite honest with you, and I shoot better with it than anything else. But anyway, fiber optic sights, very nice. They don't glow in the dark. You can get excess or like true glow night sights for M&Ps. I do believe those will fit on here. It does have a dovetail mount in the back and the front. But another thing, see these little windows here? You got little holes in the barrel. It's compensated. Just like the SASC from the previous video, it has compensator ports, which is wonderful because pistols this size, as I've previously mentioned, tend to be very snappy. I'm just going to say the compensator ports on this thing work a lot better than they do on the SASC. Let me tell you that. This thing is a lot more fun to shoot than the SASC. As a matter of fact, the SASC was replaced by this thing, and I don't regret it for a second. People are like, oh, the 365 is the greatest gun ever. Forget it, dude. Forget it. Smith & Wesson just totally blew Sig Sauer out of the water. And that actually brings me to the price range of this thing. Yes, I'm pointing it at you to trigger you, because I know some people on the internet.
I know where you live.
The price point on this thing is actually pretty decent. I mean, it's an M&P, of course it's decent. The interesting part is that the Performance Center model at my local store was less expensive than the base model, which the base model comes with, I believe, blacked out rear sights and a traditional white front sight. It doesn't have the Performance Center mark or the compensator cuts, and this was like, I think, $25 to $30 cheaper. Do I know why that is? No, I have no idea. But that's okay, because I'm glad I got this one, and I'm glad I could get it for cheaper, because it is a wonderful, wonderful shooting pistol. Do I prefer it over the EZ? That's a tough one. I really enjoy it. I shoot quite well with it for some reason, even though it barely fits in my gorilla hands. But I like the feel of the EZ better. The EZ fits my hand better. It just generally feels better, but I shoot better with this. So, I mean, it is what it is. Might as well have the advantage, right? I mean, I'm getting almost double the capacity. That actually brings me to another point. Oh, now it fits okay. 13 round capacity. Now I have a habit of carrying full magazine plus one in the chamber, so this 10 round mag, when I'm carrying with this 10 round mag, I'll have 11 rounds in the pistol. I'll have 14 rounds with the 13 rounds in the magazine plus the one. Fits super nice. It feels so good when you put the extended mag in there. Oh, it's wonderful. And it competes with the 365, because the 365 normally comes with a 10 round mag. You can get them with 12 round mags and 14 round mags. Well, this might be one less than their biggest option, but if you ask me, the pistol is better in almost every way. And I'm not afraid to scratch it either, because it wasn't terribly expensive. If I remember right, it was, yeah, I want to say it was about $490. Also, what's really nice, these orange followers. So if you're out of ammo, you can look up really quick. And that acquisition is super easy. And you look in there and you're like, oh look, a big orange thing inside of my gun. Must mean I'm empty. You might not think that makes much of a difference, but it definitely can. It's just a nice quality of life thing. I actually want to talk about the flashlight as well. There's not much to say about the knife. I'll bring it out anyway, but there's not much to say about it. I mean, really, it doesn't have a rear switch on it. It's got the little knobs. It takes a little bit of practice to get it out, but it is a fairly sharp knife. This is very, very freaking sharp, man. I've nearly made myself bleed with this, which is not at all unusual for me. Nice little knife. It's worth carrying around. It's definitely not a fighting knife. You're not going to pull this out in a flash. Not like the knife I normally carry anyway, which I just got this recently. The Smith & Wesson M&P Extreme Ops Hawkbill Karambit. This is definitely a lot more of a fighting knife, but nonetheless, still a very good little folding knife. And the flashlight is actually significant. You see, I'm in the security career field. A security officer who does not have a flashlight is an unprepared security officer. So I'm going to do something here. I'm going to go ahead and turn off that light. So here's the bright mode. Not half bad. It's got a pretty good throw behind it. Here's dim, so if you don't want to go blind. And then here's seizure mode. Ow. So the extras you get with it are actually quite nice. They're something you would actually use. I do frequently use them. This was my carry knife until this came in. This is still my carry flashlight, and this is my concealed carry. And it comes in a nice little case. So if you can't or don't want to put it in a holster, you can carry it on your side like a man purse. Unless somebody knew what Performance Center by Smith & Wesson meant, they would have no idea. And a common trick I do is I take my wallet, and if I have to wait somewhere, I throw that in here, put my wallet in there, close it up, and carry my wallet in there. So then someone says, you know, in the situation of give me your wallet, it's all right, all right, all right. So anyway, I started blasting. I was trying to think of a clever Danny DeVito reference. When you're done with everything, you can just put it all away. Not everything likes to fit perfectly, but with a little finagling, you'll get it in there easy enough. One thing I have to question, why does the gun go in this way? Because it means if you open it with the text facing you, you couldn't see that, I put my hands up. So that's a questionable choice, but then again, it's not a big deal. It's not gonna go off by itself. It's an M&P. I can attest to their quality. Some people don't like them. I personally love them. I think they're great. Especially this one. Don't know why, but it's just a great shooter. In any case, wow, what a great gun. It is utterly fantastic. If you are considering the Sig Sauer P365, Springfield Hellcat, Glock 43X, I beg you, give the Smith & Wesson M&P Shield Plus some consideration. This will punch up with those top tier models. This is a good gun. No, a great gun. It's one of my favorite concealed carry pistols ever. And it only just came out. It doesn't have any problems as far as I know. And it's based on a design that's, I believe, like 10 years old now. The Shield came out something like 10 years ago. I remember when I first discovered it, I was sitting on the toilet and there was a magazine in a little magazine holder in the bathroom, and it had a Smith & Wesson Shield on it. So I kind of grew up idolizing the Shield a little bit, and now that I have one, an even better than the normal one, I mean, I'm pretty happy, I'm not gonna lie. I appreciate you joining me today. Hopefully this kind of casual, ranting, improv style video is a little more entertaining, and it brings a little more flavor. I think I might actually end up sticking with this depending on how I feel later. But then again, we're experimenting, we're trying to find the ropes here. And I actually would like to apologize, I was gonna include some range footage today. When we arrived at the range, they told us we weren't allowed to film, even though we were literally the only people at the range, literally the entire time we were there, which was something like almost 2 hours, we weren't allowed to film. Even though we were in a corner of the range, in our own booth, right next to the wall. They're the type of guys who, if you need to hand them your gun that's in the holster, you literally have to turn your hips and throw your hip out like a stripper for them to pull the gun out of your holster. And I say that because that literally happened to me once. I had them look at one of the sights on my guns, and instead of letting me pull it out safely, he made me throw my hip out and reached over the counter and pulled that out of my holster for me. It was very stupid, but they're like the only indoor range near me. Remember, everybody, stay prepared, carry a weapon with you. Have an excellent rest of your day. Cheers.